Make sure God's first. Love God, serve God, and walk with God. Be in His light and love Him. Okay. God is my Father. Yes, He's the King. I am the princess, so I'm royalty. P-R to the I-N-C, E to the double S. God is my Father. Yes, He's the King. I am the princess, so I'm royalty. P-R to the I-N-C, E to the double S. Okay. P-R to the I-N-C, E to the double S. Alright. God is my Father, I'm royalty. It's life with the princess. Okay, alright. Hey everyone, it's me, Miracle, #the Princess, and welcome to my radio show called Life with the Princess Radio, the voice of my generation. My show's about kids, it's also for kids, and it's about giving God the glory. You can check me out on YouTube on Life with the Princess channel, on Instagram, and on Musical.ly at Life with the Princess. Today with me are my co-hosts, Mac and Maddie. Hi. Okay, and I want to start off with something I call Miracle's Moment. Be generous with compliments. If someone looks nice, tell them. It might brighten their day. My guest today with me is a PG County State's Attorney, Angela Alsobrooks. She's a champion for justice. She prosecutes people who break the law. Welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me on the show.
And what does a state's attorney do?
So the state's attorney is the chief law enforcement officer for the county, which means she, in my case, is the person who handles all of the criminal matters for the county. We're responsible for filing criminal charges and handling those criminal charges in a courtroom. So that's what the state's attorney does. She makes decisions about when to file charges, when to dismiss charges, and how to resolve criminal cases. So we work with the police department, the office of the sheriff, and other law enforcement agencies to bring justice to people who have been victims of crime.
So you're running for a county executive. What does a county executive do?
The county executive is the chief executive of the county, so it's very similar to a mayor. The county executive is the person who oversees the school system in the county, the police department. The county executive is the person who's responsible for making decisions related to economic development and health care. So the county executive is the chief executive, the person who is ultimately responsible for the county.
And what does a state's attorney do? What inspires you to be a state's attorney? I'm sorry.
Well, you know what? I decided to become a state's attorney, and they're also known as assistant state's attorneys, 20 years ago. And I was inspired to become a prosecutor 20 years ago when I decided that I wanted to spend my career doing something that I thought would be not only exciting for me and fulfilling, but I thought would help other people. And I had the occasion to watch a prosecutor. Her name was Mary Cook. When I was a law clerk right out of law school, and watched her argue in a courtroom, and I was so impressed with what she was doing that I decided I wanted to spend my career also fighting for my community, fighting in a courtroom for people who have been victims of crime. So I started 20 years ago, but then I ran for office to be the head of the prosecutor's office in 2010, and I was inspired to do that because of my daughter, because I thought that my daughter was growing up in a world that was very different than the one I grew up in. I was concerned that she couldn't feel as safe as I did as a child, and I decided that rather than complain about it, I would try to really make it better for her and for other children.
What inspired you to be a county executive?
Well, I'm inspired to be county executive because I believe that America should be as good as its promise, that every individual in our county, every child, every adult, should have the same opportunity to succeed and to provide for their families. And as county executive, I would have the opportunity to oversee the finances of the county, the school system, and all of the other entities that would make it possible for me to affect the quality of life of the people who live here. So it is really that I want to do more to help families, to help children, to be healthy, to be educated, to be successful. and that's why I'm motivated to run for county executive.
Who do you look up to?
I look up to my parents. I'm very close to my mother and father, and to this day, and I look up to them because they instilled in me values that still matter to me today. My mother has been a really wonderful example, not only of what it looks like to work hard, but how to respect other people. She's a really excellent mother. She's a really great wife and friend. She's just a really phenomenal woman, and so I look up to her. And I also look up to my father, who is really brilliant. I think he's the smartest person I've ever met in my life. He's an excellent father. He's also a really good friend to me and to a whole bunch of other people. So I really, really look up to my parents.
Okay, and what did you have to study in school to be a state's attorney?
Well, so I went to Duke University first to college, and while in college I studied public policy, which is a combination of political science and economics. And then when I graduated from Duke University, I decided to go to law school. And in law school, there were just generalized legal studies that I did, and then decided from there to work with a judge as a law clerk. And I had the opportunity as a law clerk to sit in his courtroom and to watch cases every day, and to watch prosecutors and defense attorneys in the courtroom. And that's how I decided that I would love to get in there and to be able to argue in a courtroom in front of a jury and to argue in front of a judge and to defend the community.
When you were a kid, what did you want to be when you grew up?
Well, let's see. I started as a kid saying I thought I should be a doctor, that I would love to be a pediatrician and take care of children. At one point, I thought maybe I would be a nurse, but I knew that I wanted to help people. And then as I got a little older, around the 6th grade, was when I started saying I thought I'd be a lawyer instead, and I would be able to defend people and to help people as a lawyer. I felt that my skills would be better used as a lawyer because I enjoyed writing and reading and public speaking, and that's why I decided that I would become a lawyer.
What were some of your interests as a kid?
Let's see. As a kid, I enjoyed a lot of dramatic play. So I was in theater, for example, at Howard University. They have something called Howard University's Children's Theater. And I enjoyed drama and dancing and singing, and I liked to read a lot. And I was just a very active child. I enjoyed going outside. I really, really liked riding bikes. So I would ride my bike essentially from when I woke up, especially in the summer. I'd go outside and spend all day riding bikes and jumping rope. And, I was just a very active child. And I just enjoyed, physical activity and spending time with people.
What was your favorite TV show when you were a kid?
Let's see. Well, what's interesting about television is I didn't watch very much of it. So maybe as a really young kid, I liked cartoons like Tom and Jerry. But I stopped watching television in the 6th grade. And I have never really picked the habit back up of watching television. So I have never been a person who really watched television.
What advice would you give to a child who wants to be like you when they grow up?
Well, I say, not to be like me, really. What I say to every child is God has given every single child a special gift, and that it would be their job to decide what that gift is and to make sure that they don't leave the earth without sharing the gift with other people. And so, really give advice that you never have to be like someone else because everyone's gifts are different. So maybe my gift is to be in this area and work as an elected official and a public servant. Somebody else may find they have the gift of healing and that they would be better suited as a nurse or doctor. Somebody else may find that they have a gift in technology, which I don't have, but they will, and they have the ability and opportunity to work on television shows or to create video games or to be a chef or to be a journalist like you are. So it's just finding whatever it is that makes you happy. I think my biggest advice to kids is to do the things, first of all, discover what you're good at and what you enjoy, and to make sure you spend your life doing the things that you love, not worrying about how much they would pay you, but worrying instead about whether it's something that you feel joy doing and that you work at it as hard as you can and make sure that every chance you have, you share it with other people, that you spend time serving other people, doing things to help other people's lives. And that really is a recipe for both success and for happiness, is really making sure that you do what you love and that you share it with others.
How do you deal with difficult cases?
Well, you know what? I try to make good decisions about cases, and much of it comes from the values that we all share about fairness, considering what's fair, considering what is just and right in a situation, having the courage to say what's true when it is, being honest, making sure that, whatever the answer is that you give in a case is the answer with the most integrity, that it is honest. And then I work with other people. We can't get a lot done unless we're able to work with others. And so I really, in the office, we are successful because I have a great team. And I rely on that team. I hire good people, and then I rely on the team to make good decisions and to do a good job with the cases as well. So that's how we deal with tough cases, is really trying to make good decisions in them, but also, being clear about working well with others. And, sometimes we see really unpleasant things in cases, so that's hard. But in those cases, you just try to do the best you can to represent people who are sometimes in really, really awful situations, who have had loved ones murdered or harmed or hurt in a particular way.
Are there times when you feel like justice has not been served?
Every now and then I feel like that when I disagree with a decision made by a jury or a judge. I have definitely felt that before. When I disagree with a sentence that may be given, maybe I think the sentence should be harsher, or in a case where I think we presented enough evidence for a person to be convicted in a case, and maybe the jury would see it different. So I have had that happen, yes.
You recently announced funding for housing for victims of domestic violence in partnership with Krispy Kreme Donuts. Can you tell us more about that, and how can the community get involved?
Oh, thank you. Yes. So recently we partnered, first of all, the governor's office allowed us a grant. They awarded us a grant in the amount of $1.5 million, which has been wonderful, to allow us to provide housing options to people who are in dangerous situations and who need housing. And we have partnered with the Family Justice Center to be available to provide that housing, those housing funds, to people who are looking for housing. That would be in the form of an apartment lease if they need it, but it's transitional housing that can take us up to from 6 months to a year. We can provide housing now for people who are in dangerous situations. And I'm really proud of that, because sometimes people want to leave dangerous situations in their homes, but they don't have any place to go. So we wanted to make sure that families could, mothers could leave and fathers could leave. We sometimes mothers can't go to shelters if they have sons who are of a certain age. And so those mothers would make a choice to stay in a dangerous home rather than to leave their children. So I wanted to make it possible for people to leave those situations if they needed to, and to take their children with them. Now, we partner with Krispy Kreme, especially during the month of October, to sell a donut that is a purple donut in recognition of domestic violence awareness. And customers who buy those donuts also get information about domestic violence that we provide to them through Krispy Kreme. So it's a way to raise awareness and provide information.
How can we protect children from abuse?
Well, we can protect children from abuse by first protecting them in their homes. That's the first line of defense, is to make sure that we are very careful about who we allow to be around our children. That includes family members, friends, daycare providers, people in the schools. I think it is really important that parents continue to keep open the lines of communication with their children so that they know when children feel unsafe. I think we also have to monitor our children's access to social media because a lot of our children are being harmed by the phones that they carry, the other electronic devices that they have access to. These are places where dangerous predators are now hanging out, hoping to connect with and to harm children. So we have to also be very vigilant about monitoring what our children are exposed to on social media. And I think we can also, make sure the kids are not witnessing violence in their homes, because boys who witness violence are more than twice as likely to repeat it, and little girls who witness violence tend to become victims themselves. So really protecting and keeping sacrosanct the home and making sure that children are not exposed to dangerous people or dangerous influences, I think, is very important.
What is your vision for my generation who live in PG County?
What's the vision for your generation? Oh, my gosh, I have great hopes and great plans for your generation. The first is that you would be educated. There is no substitute for a strong education, and so it is my plan to fight as hard as I can to make sure that every child has an opportunity to have a solid, first-rate, not only academic experience, but making sure that they're safe in our schools, that they have the best and brightest teachers standing in front of them with reduced class sizes, and that they have opportunities not only to achieve academically, but to be ready for college and careers that lead to high-paying jobs, that we will graduate from our schools young people who have strong character and who are socially and emotionally developed, and that we also create for you opportunities after college and after high school, that it's the work of all of the adults, including me, to make sure that you have great jobs available to you and that you have housing that is affordable, that you have health care that is affordable, that we are keeping an eye on your mental health and your physical health, and that we are providing sporting opportunities for your generation so that you can be healthy people, that we are providing, ways also for you to connect with the future through technology and the arts. So this is the vision that I have for your generation, is that we will invest in you in every way possible so you'll have access to every opportunity. And again, when we talk about the American dream, it means that all of us should have access to all of the benefits that come with being a part of this country. And I want to make sure that the children in our community are prepared for that we as adults are doing our job to prepare you for the future and to make sure that we connect you to opportunities.
What would you like to be remembered for?
I'd like to be remembered for doing a great job. And what I mean by doing a great job is I want people to say, when I have done the job, that I did the things that I promised, that I took care of, and that I held sacred the trust of the people who elected me, that I fought for their families, I fought for their children, I provided increased opportunity, again, in the ways we talked about, in education and business, that I took care of the finances of the county. I want it to be said when I leave that I left it better than I found it. That would be very important to me.
Thank you for being a guest on the show today.
Thank you, and thank you so much for all of the work that you're doing. I'm so proud of you. I hope that you just continue to thrive in the area that you found there in journalism and in the world. I want you to continue to be great. And anything I can do to be of support, please let me know. But I'm so very proud of you, and thank you for having me as your guest today.
Thank you.
All right, thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Thank you. So we have to take a break, but when we'll come back, we'll have Miracle's Message, Miracle's Word of the Day, and Miracle's Musical Moment.
I need to tell you this right now. Make sure God's first. Love God, serve God, and walk with God. Be in His light and love Him. Okay. God
your girl Tamar Braxton, and I'm with the princess from the Life with the Princess show, the voice of her generation. Yeah, baby.
Welcome back to the Life with the Princess radio show, the voice of my generation. I'm your host, Miracle # the Princess, and with me today are my co-hosts, Mac and Maddie.
Hey.
Hi.
And now it's time for what I like to call Miracle's musical moment. As you may know, my mom and I are part of the ensemble cast in the Wizard of Oz play. And that play opens at the day after Thanksgiving and runs each week through December 17th at the Greenbelt Arts Center at 123 Center Way in Greenbelt, Maryland. Tickets are $25 for general admission, $22 for senior students or military members, and $14 for youth. To buy tickets, go online at greenbeltartscenter.org. That's greenbeltartscenter.org.
Now for Miracle's Word of the Day. Miracle's Word of the Day is achievement. It means a thing done successfully, usually by effort, courage, or skill. What have you achieved lately?
Now it's time for Miracle's message. Today's message comes from Psalms chapter 119, verse 105. Your word is a lamp for my feet, a light on my path. That means God's word lights the way and shows me what path to take.
Thanks to everyone who brought the November-December issue of American Girl magazine. I'm featured on page 4 of the magazine, and I talk about last year's Socks in the Box campaign with my best friends Mac and Maddie. The issue was sold out, but be sure to pick up the latest issue of the Street Sense magazine on newsstands in the D.C. area, and you can also check it out online at streetsensemedia.org. I'm on the cover of the magazine, and that's streetsensemedia.org. And if you buy a copy of the Street Sense magazine, you'll be supporting the homeless in D.C. And look for me in the upcoming issue of the Greenbelt News Review newspaper at Greenbelt, Maryland. I talk about my radio show, Socks in the Box campaign. And I need to tell you guys something. Did you guys know my tooth fell out just like last night? And it was like so awesome because I wiggled it out and it was so cool. So Madison McKenzie, tell me, what have you been doing lately?
Well, we're really busy. Like, we have 2 Christmas programs we have to go to.
We don't really have 2 Christmas programs. I mean, we have a Christmas. We have a Christmas recital and
we have
ballet.
like a ballet recital, like
Cool.
dance recital. And second, we have like a Christmas program at our school.
And we have cheerleading coming this Monday.
Did you guys know about Murder Mystery of Roblox?
Yes.
Murder Mystery 2. That's my favorite game now. What's your favorite game on Roblox?
Well, she often plays Ripple mini games. Ripple.
That's your favorite? Is that your favorite, Mackenzie?
Yes.
What's your favorite, Madison?
I mean, I can't pick one, but I'll do either Ripple mini games or I wouldn't say Fashion Frenzies. I would say I'll stick with that for now.
Okay. And we also have another guest on the show, which is Kylie. Hi.
Hi.
So tell me, what have you been up to lately?
So I have a Christmas program coming up and a recital. And I'm really busy, so I'm probably not going to get to go to one of them. And I have cheerleading coming up, which I probably have to be late for that too.
Okay.
And
What are you guys going to be doing for Thanksgiving?
Well, we don't know yet.
well, yeah.
What about you, Kylie?
I'm going to North Carolina to see my cousins and my...
Wow.
I always wanted to go to North Carolina.
That's cool. I actually always wanted to go to California and Hollywood because I want to meet my favorite celebrity star, JoJo Siwa.
Of course.
Oh my gosh. I have her bows. But what's your favorite food for Thanksgiving, Madison and Mackenzie?
Macaroni and cheese.
Of course you love macaroni and cheese.
So macaroni and cheese and turkey. Ham.
Mm-hmm. And what about you, Kylie?
Macaroni and cheese.
And with stuffing in it.
I love chicken Macaroni and cheese, mashed potatoes with gravy.
Stuffing.
My mom makes the best sweet potato pie. I'm telling you, it's so delicious. And she makes the best salmon.
Thank you.
Yeah, my mom's in the background right now. My dad couldn't make it, but yeah, Mackenzie.
Oh, my mom makes the best meatballs ever. Oh yeah, so like when we were dropping your dad off, so Mackenzie said, why do you have to go to work on Saturdays? I mean, aren't you the manager? And then he told her, he said the same thing.
Okay, and for this year's Socks in the Box campaign, a portion of the socks collected will go to hurricane relief victims. You could find my boxes in Planet Fitness locations in DC, Landover, Greenbelt, Seat Pleasant, also Target and Largo, and you have to go to guest services to donate socks. And you can drop off socks at Hair Raises on Marble Pipe in District Heights, Maryland. I'd like to thank my PG County State's Attorney, Angela Alsobrooks, for being a guest with me on the show. And I'd like to thank my wonderful co-host and my extra guest, Kylie, for being on the show today.
Thank you.
And for booking information or to be a guest on the show, email me at lifewiththeprincess@gmail.com. Thank you for listening to my show called Life with the Princess Radio. You can check me out on YouTube on Life with the Princess channel, on Instagram, and on Musically at Life with the Princess. You'll also check out their Musically. And my radio show is on every second and fourth Saturday of the month from 10:30 to 11 here on WOB 1010 AM Baltimore. Talk to you again November 25th.
I need to tell you this right now. Make sure God's first. Love God, serve God, and walk with God. Be in His light and love Him. Okay. God is my Father. Yes, He's the King. I am the princess, so I'm royalty. P-R to the I-N-C, E to the double S. God is my Father. Yes, He's the King. I'm the princess, so I'm royalty. P-R to the I-N-C, E to the double S. Okay. P-R to the I-N-C, E to the double S. Alright. God is my Father, I'm royalty. It's Life with the Princess. Okay, alright.
Hey everybody, it's me, your girl Tamar Braxton, and I'm with the princess from the Life with the Princess show, the voice of her generation. Yeah, baby.